Hey there viewers, my name is Torinski and welcome back to Torinski Tries, where we play a variety of games old and new and try and showcase just a little bit of what they have in store for us today. We're going to be checking out some Luck Be a Landlord. This is a rogue-lite developed and published by Trampoline Tales, I believe the studio is called. And I say rogue-lite in the strictest way here because this game is very much a distillation or maybe some kind of deconstruction of the roguelike genre, just in the terms of they've taken out all of the mechanical aspects, or at least most of them. No, all of them. Now that I think about it, there's just one button that you push in terms of gameplay here, and instead it just relies on kind of the synergy combo mechanics that we see in a lot of roguelikes these days, along with, of course, RNG, because you can't have a roguelike without a little bit of that stacked in on the side. So we'll hop right into a run here and hope that we get good enough luck to showcase a decent amount of this, maybe even get through our first run. For any of you who are a bit more experienced with the game, you'll already see something is a little weird here potentially, because the apartment floors were added in, I think, the first or second major update. I think second major update after they first released the game on Steam. And it adds little modifiers to make it more difficult as you go up. I actually recorded an episode of this very Torinski Tries the other night, but made some mistakes and didn't have the right scene selected in OBS, so unfortunately we'll have to go at it again here, and hopefully we get similar luck, because that run actually went surprisingly well. So yeah, just to pull back the curtain a little bit on that kind of thing. But we'll jump right into a just no modifiers run, try and showcase a little bit of it without tripping ourselves up here in the early game. But the concept of the game here is pretty simple. We have our landlord here who's emailing us, Landy McLandlord at bouncy.mail. And in fact, let's just read off their email to start it off here. Enjoy your stay in our apartment complex. It comes with a complimentary slot machine. You can use it to get coins and pay your rent. Speaking of which, your rent is 25 coins and is due in 5 spins. Good luck, your landlord. So we just need to spin this fancy slot machine, complimentary slot machine as it were, and try and get enough rent by the end of each rent cycle. This number of spins will change slightly as we progress through the base game here, but that's about it. To start out here, we get 5 just very basic symbols. All of these will just give us 1 coin when they roll up on the board here. Some do have potential for future synergies, but I think the only one that's labeled differently is cat, and this is actually, yeah, a new thing from the latest update in the game. The cats will destroy adjacent something that I think might be milk in a little bottle there, but we'll give coins, 9 coins for each milk destroyed. So that seems like it might be an alright early game thing here. So without further ado, all we can do is spin here. We'll almost definitely just gain 5 coins off of that. So to start off here, as we're trying to get 25 coins in the first few spins, because all of our items are just going to be giving us 1 coin per spin, unless we pick up a really good find right away here. It's a little bit more deterministic, and especially in the first couple of spins here, we'll want to pick one up, because just math-wise, the more times we have 6 symbols or 7 symbols and so on showing up, the more money we'll rake in over the course of these next 4 turns. And it all becomes pretty important for the first rent, so I try to always, unless I'm feeling super spicy, I try to always take on the first roll here. And so I'm probably going to just go with another cat. I always like kits in this game. Get me some good luck maybe, just maybe. And okay, so we could raise our chances just slightly of gaining better symbols in the future. Could be alright. Dogs have some least combo potential with certain items you can find in the game, and same with egg, but eggs have a chance to transform into little chicks here, and then chicks turn into chickens, which then, or hens rather, which can then lay eggs of their own. So definitely a potentially fun synergy, but not something I usually go into here. So start it off simple with maybe just cats and dogs. Again, I do like to take in the first couple just to ensure that we make this first rent without having to worry about anything. Bubbles, I think, might have also been added in this last update, because they'll give to and destroy itself after a few times of giving coins. So a bit of a short-term boost. On the converse side of things, we can go for the long haul here with a lot of these animals that either give a negative or give 0 gold whenever they show up, but every few spins they'll give a better sum. So it kind of pays off in the long run there. Definitely not very good in the first rent payment, especially Magpie. Taking out those coins can be hugely detrimental for the same reasons that we've been discussing so far here. But the bubble could be a nice little temporary boost here. I always like to talk about engines in this game, where you want something in the early part here that will just kind of give you enough push in the early game to get us to where our real synergistic combo really takes off and all that. But we'll see how it goes there. We could go for a very like flower based build with something like the bees here, because as soon as you have something that doubles the values of symbols, I mean, getting a few of these adjacent to something starts to add up pretty quickly with the doubling. So between these, I mean, mouse is definitely something that I often take in the very first roll as a potential engine, because as long as you can throw out the occasional cheese, this can get you through a bunch of the early game rents. But we'll go with the bee to maybe eke just a little bit more out of our flower here. And in fact, we did get an adjacency bonus right away. One extra coin, a couple of coins from the flower itself. So we definitely made the first rent, no problem, because we were able to not be too stingy with the collection there and didn't have to skip too often in terms of symbols. But it does start to get trickier right away here as we continue to double our rent payments. After paying each rent cycle, we do get a chance to obtain slightly better rarity of symbols, so definitely this is a round that we always want to look out for. The peach is pretty solid for just giving us consistent 2 coins each round in this first couple of rent cycles. That's going to be pretty huge on its own. Matryoshka doll is definitely something that will, again, kind of work out in the long run, but doesn't do us much good right away. It gives 0 gold, but after it destroys itself in 3 spins and adds this slightly smaller one. Oh, we can see it right here. I was going to guess what this did. But we can see it will start to give us 1 coin, and then in 5 turns it becomes a smaller doll that gives 2 coins, and then I think it keeps going until 3 or 4. Not sure when, but it definitely takes a while to tick out those turns. Lastly, suits, so very kind of synergistic combo based build. I do kind of want cats or flowers. Those are my 2 favorites. Within my very limited experience in this game. Geez, I have a little hair in my nose. Maybe one of my beard hairs is just flipped up too. That definitely happens often and just tickles me the whole time. But we'll go with the peach for now, just to kind of temporarily give us a little security in the short term here, and then maybe we'll see where that goes later on. This is kind of interesting, the checkered flag. All these kind of long-term slow play animals that we were talking about earlier will start to give us money in 1 less turn. Definitely could be fun. It gives us symbols to look out for in the next little bit here as well. Something like the fish tank, I like this item a lot, because if you get a run that ends up going towards infinite or somewhere in that vicinity, this gives you a reason to pick up symbols even after you've kind of perfected your build itself. You can always keep an eye out for more goldfish to add to your tank here. And finally, red pepper gives 3 if every symbol is different and ignores empties. So unfortunately, we've already kind of screwed the pooch on this one, and we have a lot of doubles, especially for how early we are in the game here. So let's go with the checkered flag and maybe just see if we can get some fun stuff showing up there. Still feeling like we should be able to make this one. And right away, we do get the option to take a magpie here. So we'll get 9 gold every 3 spins. Cool. Seems alright on its own. But they'll only really be 6 gold every 3 spins because we'll be subtracting 3 as well. So really, this is 2 gold per spin. So a magpie with the checkered flag is essentially equal to a peach, with some variance within there. I guess only really the negative side of the variance, because if we get caught off guard, having lost coins more than, and without getting to the next payment cycle kind of thing, that's where we run into issues. So we could take the magpie for an uncommon level symbol, kind of, in terms of power level. But I'd always like taking keys, because keys are something that will destroy all these symbols that give nice chunks of gold when they are destroyed, and it will also destroy itself afterwards. So we don't have to worry about thinning our deck. We can kind of just pick this up and it will, at some point, get rid of itself. And in the short term, it will give us a coin every turn, which we're in desperate need of, as we don't even have a full board here, so we're not exactly maxed out. Once we have 20 symbols, we'll at least be getting a maximum amount of points each turn, or a minimum rather, as it were. Okay, so we are getting more options to pursue this kind of flower path, which is always tempting. Don't know whether I want to go this early on for another bee in order to just keep doubling. In fact, if both of them end up next to the flower, we get a bit of a duplicative effect there. Or we could go with more flowers in the early game just to potentially get more adjacencies. I guess at this point, because we have just one of each, I believe is correct. Worlds are oysters, so I'm going to go for the more doubling, because even if we just have one flower and a whole bunch of things that double its values that are guaranteed to have a set number of them close enough to it, it will kind of support us on its own. Of course, we get no adjacencies right away, but wouldn't really expect to either. So egg, cultist, or in fact is milk. Okay, I thought so. Not really from the shape, because this could be a whole lot of things, including, I think I ate a popsicle as a kid that had this color scheme and shape and everything. But I assumed because cats were drinking it, milk made sense. So we do have 2 cats, and they destroy adjacent milk, so there's almost no harm in taking this. If it gets adjacent to a cat, it will give us a little bit of a push in the short term, be one of those kind of engines that we talked about earlier. So we'll see how that goes. And immediately gets eaten up, gives us another 10 coins, which does boost us to a nice place in the rent cycle here. We still have another spin, and we're ahead of the game at the very least. So another chance at a magpie. We really could have had weird bird synergy going potentially. I don't know how many bird synergies there are in the game, but could have had 4 or 5 magpies if we'd taken everyone offered to us. Here though, because we have this key that we picked up the other turn, I'm gonna grab the lockbox, and hopefully those will destroy each other relatively soon. Not a big rush though. And there we are, got a little over 50% of a boost for the necessary payment for our rent here. And now we'll just have to make a similar amount of cash in order to hit 100, and we have an extra turn to do it too. So barring some really truly unfortunate rolls, should all work out. Hexadraining will give a nice amount of money. That has 30% chance to make adjacent symbols give 0. So early game, this would be really good, because the chance would only affect things that, for the most part, give us 1 coin each anyway. And the 3 coins each is a huge boost for the early game here. But I really enjoy these. There's a void stone, a void creature. I feel like there are 3 void things, but I could be wrong about that for sure. But these are all really nice, because in the early game, adjacent empties will give extra points. So that's okay. And then they'll destroy itself if they're next to nothing empty and give 8 gold. So regardless, we're kind of gaining out of this one. So definitely no complaints there. And okay, get another chance at an item. Oh wow, birdhouse. We really could have had a bit of a bird synergy going. I mean, The birdhouse is that they give one more coin. So the magpie would no longer subtract any each turn. And that would make this, with the checkered flag, 3 per turn, which is still pretty good. That's as good as a lot of the even like rare level symbols at a base value at the very least, even though usually those are a bit more useful for combo potentials and that kind of thing. And what else? Owls are another one that we definitely could grab because they both work with both the checkered flag and this one. Anything else? Maybe a crow, unfortunately. Let's go to our inventory. Oh no, it won't make us take the negative consequences as well as the positives. So that is very tempting to pick up. Even just for the kind of fun potential synergy there. But on the flip side of things is this lucky cat, which makes us more likely to find better symbols for each cat, and we do have 2 cats already. So it kind of plays off of that and pushes us to potentially get better in the future based on those, without fully locking in to a specific strat, because I do like to leave myself a little bit open in this game. You never know what kind of symbols you're going to be offered, especially before we have any real opportunity for skipping or anything like that. Or not skipping rather, but re-rolling, as it were. So cardboard box, I don't recognize this item, and it could give 1 removal per 6 spins, which in the long term is pretty useful and could help us, shift out of our kind of gas/engine build into our real synergy. But I'm gonna go with the lucky cat just to make a call here. And I promise it won't take that long on every item decision, but for the first few here, we'll talk it out and kind of get a feel for how my logic usually functions in this game. So here's, the Void Stone, another just solid get at any point in the game. Either is worth 8 points and destroys itself, or will just kind of give points for nothing, or what would originally be nothing at the very least. Another hex here, so hexes always have these good values with a chance to do a bad thing. This has a chance to take 6 from us. I don't think I'll take that, even though I do like rolling the die on things. And finally, capsules will always destroy themselves for a benefit, and this one will give adjacent symbols 2 times more money. So it's between the buffing capsule and the void stone at this point. We don't have a full board of stuff, so I'm probably gonna go with the void stone, as the buffing capsule might, in the worst case scenario, hit absolutely nothing around it, and potentially even just 1 or 2 things. As for this, I think I will grab the flower, and maybe that's where we'll be aiming to shift in the late game here, and in the short term, we're just trying to get there. So a monkey can eat some stuff. This is another one that I like to, if I see a monkey early, a monkey, a toddler, a dwarf, lots of the symbols in this game have these kinds of effects where they'll destroy symbols, and they can definitely, with a little bit of luck on your side, kind of push us through the first few rend cycles here until something really gets going. As for these though, I think I will skip. We're doing okay for money, and we're definitely making it through at least this rent, so we won't worry too much about that. I mean, So we just see another buffing capsule. Could go for that. That's probably what we'll grab if we are debating skipping these 2, because there's no real harm at this point. Coal is always kind of fun, but we won't worry about the long-term benefits, and instead feel pretty happy about what we're going for. But miners, destroying adjacent things and giving money for each one. There's some new changes to the game that have recently been made involving miners and geodes and ores. No, ores and big ores, sorry. I always call the big ores geodes. I'll probably still call them that, but that might be a different symbol in the game for all I know. So I'm tempted to grab the miner just for the chance to maybe showcase a little bit of that. Or at least try it out for myself. Might as well, as at this point we're not in severe danger of missing out on anything. But okay, so we have a chance to add an urn. Spirits are a nice interesting one, like the bubbles. These will give money for a limited amount of time and then destroy themselves, so they're definitely a nice little short-term boost into the economy of the game here. But a tomb is a better version of an urn, as it has a chance to just add spirits. And if we manage to destroy this somehow, it will add a whole bunch of spirits. Gives 3 on its own. I mean, can't really say no to that, even if we don't really have any synergies with it this early in the game. That's a pretty huge amount of bonus there. And we also, just as we picked that up, managed to get a lockbox and a key adjacent to each other, which means, again, we're at that, like, 50% boost, 150% of our rent payment in terms of balance, which definitely can't complain too much there. But all right, we're up to 150 gold doing 6 spins. So same amount of spins, more gold. But fortunately for us, we also get our first email from Commie McComrade here at Bouncy.mail. So hello comrade, your local mutual aid network has heard of your rent situation. To help with your trials, we are giving you 2 reroll tokens, 2 removal tokens to help defeat your landlord. Stay strong. So with these, we'll be able to re-roll the symbol options that we get here with an option here. And during or between rolls, we can also remove symbols that we no longer have a need for, exchange them out. So definitely good progression here. Could re-roll, but I think for this one, no diamonds. We already kind of turned down this synergy item capsule. Always kind of fun to get free items, but we'll go with the lucky capsule and get a guaranteed rare symbol in the next batch. Ooh, we do have 2 cats, so we get the option for black cat, which gives 3 whenever you gain a multiple of 13 after a spin. Meh, could be okay. But cats give 2 times more money on their own, so that will kind of pump a little bit of value into cats, which we also want to pick up just to increase the chances at rarer symbols. So nice little synergy acting up there. Gives 3 if there are at least 3 empty is not going to be useful very soon here. And on the flip side of things, we have give 2 if none of the symbols are empty, which will be useful right away. We are 5 symbols away from having a full board worth, which won't guarantee it, but makes it pretty likely. And once we're up to 25, we'll never get empties again, and yellow pepper will always benefit. But I'm going to go with the black cat and just double our cat values here, bring them up to 2. And hopefully find some more cats. We'll see how it goes. And here we go. We get our guaranteed rare, which is the Beastmaster makes any animals adjacent to it give 2 times more, which works on bumblebees, works on cats, and works on all the slow animals that we could double. I think we might be onto something here. I'll pick up the Beastmaster and see how that goes. Gives us some nice double actions on certain things here. Not quite there, but yeah, if we have a cat next to a Beastmaster, that's already doubling twice for 4 points, so that's kind of sweet. And let's see, banana, not so interesting. Oyster, also not that interesting for us here, just chance of adding base level stuff that we're not interacting with at the moment. But a tedium capsule, I believe this is a new item. Destroys itself for money, but guarantees that at least 1 symbol will be common. At this point, all 3 of our symbols are probably going to be common after this roll, so I'll take that for the free gold. Thank you very much. Be happy with that one. But okay, some cheese. If we had decided to go the mouse route, that definitely could have come in handy. We aren't really running a fruit-heavy build, even though we have had a decent number of fruit options in these rounds, so we almost could have. And finally, Anchor might be a new item as well. I don't recognize this one. It gives 4 when in a corner, but also just gives 1 kind of organically. Those are kind of interesting, but I'll skip. I'm feeling pretty solid. We're definitely making this rent. Yeah, I think no matter what. I was going to say, provided nothing horrible goes wrong, but I actually think we were pretty on board for that one. And let's see here. Target gives more money when destroyed. Gives 2 on its own, which isn't too bad. And this, I did see, originally I went into this blind and not knowing what this did, but I saw in my unsuccessful recording attempt that this synergizes with arrows you can find in the game. As well as actually, if we head down to Checkered Flag, oh, I can't mouse over the stuff for this now. When we got to pick up this item, we could have moused over Robin Hood. Oh, there we go. We are able to. I somehow got the UI to work properly there. but Robin Hood destroys adjacent targets as well. So that's a nice little boost if we ever happen to find one of him in the future. There's no guarantee whatsoever. Between the target or the Hex of Hoarding, which has a chance to make us not able to skip, but I kind of like not skipping, even just for the challenge of it all. All in all, I think I'll go with the targets. They're kind of built in to be destroyed and kind of fun in that regard here. Let's see, we have a Beastmaster, so we could take the bear just in hopes of doubling some points. It does give it 4 when they're adjacent, just on its own. If we ever find honeys, that's a nice little sum of cash as well. But on the other side of things, we could take the golem and just use that to crack open some ores with our miner here. Maybe get some okay gems. Probably not. Probably just get pearls out of them. But it would be 50 gold over however many turns it took. Because, yeah, it adds 5 ores. So it is 50 gold, 1 gold per ore as well per turn they show up not adjacent to the miner. So just for fun, we'll try it out. Again, the miners and ores and stuff, something about that got changed in this last update, I know, so it's kind of fun to check it out. We've definitely slowed down our pace a little bit. We're no longer 150% of our goal, but still very much ahead of the curve here, so we're not too concerned at the moment. Another golem, hey? I almost don't want to take another one because even after we destroy them, the ores themselves are going to be, how did I do that before? Because now I'm trying to do it again in order to mouse over. Oh, you wait until the bar fills up. Oh, that's very cool. I get it now. Way to go. Good UI. Very intuitive that I managed to figure it out with being an idiot myself. But okay. So the ores, yeah, I have a chance to add all of these bad boys. Probably just going to get the crippy ones. Well, let's do it. That's kind of fun still. I don't mind. Okay. A treasure map. You may destroy this item after 20 spins and add a key and chest when destroyed. Huh. I mean, it's not horrible. If you get it really early, I guess this might be kind of nice. And it is just common level, so I don't expect too much from that. But a dwarven anvil you don't see very often, and dwarves give 2 times more money and will destroy adjacent ores. Versus gives 3 gold if every symbol is different. This effect ignores empty. So red pepper is never going to proc for us. We don't really need treasure map, so we'll take dwarven anvil. If a dwarf shows up, we'll probably pick him up just because we'll have a whole lot of ores showing up in a moment here. Okay. Ooh, a witch. So with a witch, adjacent cats, owls, and all the hexes and spirits as well even give twice as much gold. So this is exactly what we're looking for. That will also amplify off of our cats here. And if we get a Beastmaster and a witch next to a cat, that's kind of the dream. Ooh, oh, not next to a cat. Unfortunately, a bee, which only works for one of them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. For this one, I will almost always, if we're not itching to grab any of the other choices, I'm happy to grab a reroll capsule. Just to give us more opportunities for that in the future here. And here's where we start to get into some of the interesting mechanics of this game, because I think, yeah, it wasn't in the original release of the game, but in the second patch that they sent out, they added these removal tokens. But removal tokens aside, there are a decent number of ways that we can get rid of some of the symbols in our deck. And often I like to kind of do my best to do it organically through symbol choices. So one example here is that the tomb is giving 3 gold per turn, which is decent at this point, especially compared to a lot of the other options. But as we get closer and closer to synergies, we kind of want to get rid of this. So I'm thinking that we could take the hooligan here. The hooligan will destroy that, release a bunch of spirits. The spirits will give us extra points, especially if they are next to a witch. That will be pretty huge in the early game here. And so here it will just replace. So I guess this isn't, now that I've gone through it a little bit more, not a perfect example of what I was talking about, but if we normally had more than one of the tombs or a tomb and an urn, as soon as you have two symbols, then picking up the one hooligan to get rid of two other symbols can definitely start to work out for us. So we'll pick up the hooligan and hopefully get rid of this tomb pretty quickly with that buddy. Also, our first golem just cracked open, so we'll start to see what's in those ore chunks. What did we get in the first one? A sapphire, which honestly, not too shabby in my books, at least at this point in the game. So we didn't take the fish tank, so goldfish is not super interesting to us. Draining, also not great. And farmer, if we had gone really hard into that fruit synergy early, this could work out for us, but as is, I'm not super interested. We have good rarity in these, so I might throw in one reroll. Just hope for another good rarity. I mean, a cat is as good as rare symbols to me at this point because we are trying to double our cat's values as many ways as possible here, which is pretty sweet. So we could, with relatively guilt-free feelings, pick up the urn here because the hooligan will destroy this eventually as long as they get adjacent to each other eventually. We're definitely cutting it a little bit closer on rent this time around, hitting 206 with 2 spins left to go. That might change depending on how lucky we are with these next couple, but yeah, I am going to just skip on these. We have a lot of symbols now. I want to let stuff maybe sit for a bit. We'll burn off a couple of the excess ones that we're not in need of anymore, that are just waiting to be adjacent to each other in some way. As for here, could take the item capsule. In fact, I think I will take the item capsule, just get a free little item out of it somewhere. A lot of adjacencies with the miner, which means a nice little sum of cash right at the end here, and we did end up in a decent spot. I was a bit more concerned before that stroke of luck there at the end, but more rerolls, more removals. Definitely no complaints there. We're in a good spot for those in general. And interesting, and big ore. So this is a decent opportunity to get more money with the miners. We do just get more gemstones out of it, which aren't necessarily what we're looking for right now, but honestly, I'll take it. It's still kind of fun. Okay, so gives 3 whenever you gain a multiple of 3 after a spin. Essentially, just has a 1 in 3 chance of working on any spin in particular. In the early game, I really like the white pepper because it's a bit more deterministic. When you only have 6 symbols, each of which gives you 1 coin, and no synergies to speak of, you know that this is going to proc every turn, and that's a huge bonus in the early game. But at this point, not too worried about it. Gives 3 if at least 3 symbols are the same and not empty. We do have 3 cats and ores as well, I guess. Pearls would be in that boat as well. Could be okay. If a symbol would take money, it takes 1 less. Tax evasion does work with Robin Hood, magpies, stuff like that. Could become interesting. Let's go with the green pepper because I do think that's going to start proccing right away. And in fact, we do have enough ores for it, even on that spin right there. So heck yeah. And we'll skip for now. Might have to start doing some reshuffling pretty soon here, but with those geodes cracking, or the ores rather, can't complain too much. The witch does not help wolves, right? No, okay, I didn't think so. Could grab another target. Honestly, I don't want anything too badly here. I'll do one more reroll though, just to cross my fingers and hope for something good. Bronze arrow. So the worst kind of arrow in the game, but anything that's pointed to after a random spin gives twice as many points, and it does destroy targets, which gives chances for a nice little bump up in money there, but we're just going to end up skipping once more, I think. we'll risk it. I'm feeling pretty good. Ooh, especially hooligan breaking that means a lot of spirits will show up, which I actually think will work out for us in the long run here, especially if we can get some adjacencies with our witch buddy. So we'll just keep skipping. It's 8 on that bad boy alone. Definitely no complaints there. Also, happy to grab milks, I think. We have a lot of cats, so that's going to be getting rid of itself pretty quickly. Unless we're unlucky here. Also, wow, we just cracked an ore into a diamond. I think that's a pretty low percentage of happenings, so I'll take that. At this point, we're killing it for money, so I'm going to skip unless it's absolutely necessary. Or, I guess not even absolutely necessary, but something that we actually actively want, I guess, to be more concise there. Man, getting those spirits is huge. No wonder we're raking in the cash. We're back up to our previous over 150% of the goal, so it's a small victory in and of itself. And let's see here. So frozen, I guess, okay, we'll go through. Bear destroys, yeah, okay, we already turned down a bear. I think we'll do it this time. Frozen fossil destroys itself after 20 spins. The amount of spins needed is reduced by 5 for each cultist, witch, and hex destroyed or removed this game. Adds an eldritch creature when destroyed. I did get eldritch creatures in my first attempt at this recording, so I do know a little bit about these buddies here. Honestly, it's such a fun one and it's rare. I'm gonna pick it up. We haven't, at this point, found ourselves with too many of the hex symbols, but they do synergize in general with our witch, and if we get rid of them, then the eldritch beasts as well, so seems fun at the very least. Ooh, for this item, so we could destroy this and get a chance at various foods and whatnot. Not super useful for us. We'd only really take milk out of this deal, I think. Bananas, just more money for bananas. I mean, no downside there at the very least. Or a barrel of dwarves. We can destroy this and add 7 dwarves. Dwarves do destroy ore for us, but I think we actually might have just gotten rid of our last ore very recently from just using our 1 miner. So I'm going to take Ricky the banana and that's it. Not worry about that too much. And 20 on that frozen fossil. We have no hexes, hey? Gonna try and pick up hexes now and get them removed just to decrease the timer on this bad boy. So I'm pretty sure that's how that works, but I guess we'll see on that one. It's tempted to use rerolls just to give us more options, but that's how we run out of rerolls right away. We might as well save those for when we have slightly better rarity guarantees. Now if we could just pick up, I think it's the diver. At least the diver is one of the options, but they will get rid of all of these pearls for us, much in the same way that we got the hooligan to get rid of the tombstone. Skip on there and keep it rolling. This is why this game is addictive though, because once you get a decent idea of all the different synergies, at least the ones that you enjoy playing, it can get so quick picking symbols and then it's just endlessly re-rolling. Go, go, go. I'll take the buffing capsule just for fun. We'll double some stuff in a little circle. Also, cat drank some milk, which gives huge amount of points for us. We'll take another ore just to feed our miner. Wow, got it right away. I also just spilled all over myself. Paying more attention to the game than trying to take a drink here. Whoops. But okay, ooh, a little bit chilly on my belly there. I have an option to pick up a billionaire here. I think my brain was kind of combining billionaire and here into one big ol' word there. Awkward portmanteau. But this is one of the new cards. Adjacent cheese and wine give 2 times more money and gives 35 when destroyed. I did see that I think the Robin Hood piece that we checked out earlier this game is one of the things that destroys that. But we'll skip for now. Aim to maybe get Robin Hood first. Oh my gosh, I spilled way more than I should have. On the front of my shirt here. Maybe I could have gone away without mentioning it. I'm just trying to think of like camera angle and stuff. It's about here, right? Yeah, spill's just below that, but I'll never lie to you. Not about things important, like whether I can drink successfully from a glass like a human being. I'll take another buffing capsule just for fun here. Ooh, and that was better location, but doesn't do great in terms of overall point value still, I guess. I'm also gonna snap grab cats because any chance for rare symbols is just kind of fun. We'd like more witches out of this specifically. Also, was not paying attention to how close we were getting to rent. Luckily, we're just in a good place and don't even have to worry about it. Plenty of cash in the back pocket here. Those rents keep going up, so we do need to kind of keep pace. I do like to use my rerolls on these ones where we are getting slightly better chances at rare symbols. General Zaroff destroys all people. That would kill our witch and our beastmaster, right? That's no good. So we'll do one more reroll. Fortunately, not great either, but I'll take a spirit just for funsies, I guess. And as for these, no suit synergies for us, no real compost or seed synergy, but cleaning rag will increase the value of all of our gems by one base value. So that's a pretty huge boost here. Definitely love to see that. And ooh, a hex. So I'm going to take this hex, and then I'm going to immediately use a removal token to remove that hex. And that should make this thing take less. I think that went down, because I don't think we've gone through 12 turns, but I could be wrong about that as well. But that does mean if we can get one more symbol in the next couple of turns here, or one more hex, as it were, we might be able to crack that bad boy right away, which could be fun. Nothing of interest there, so we'll just skip those ones. Try another attempt at my drink here. Hopefully it goes better than the last one. Wow, look at that. We did it. Deserve a round of applause for that simple task. Just keep skipping and spinning, I guess. How are we doing for time here? Honestly, about the same as we were last time, maybe a little bit slower. But we're no longer really leaning into any kind of plant synergy. I was still thinking for a lot of this game that we were eventually heading that way, but it's looking like either a cat beast thing or maybe even a hex witch more focus lean. So rain, not so much. We'll just take an item capsule to maybe give ourselves another random item here. The white pepper, which is just a 30% chance, so I guess we'll take that. It's not nothing. Let's see, Highlander gives 6, but it can only be 1, of course. Everyone knows that. But we'll just take the Void Stone. It gives 8 on its own. Pretty solid boost, irregardless of anything else. And dang, I was really hoping for some more hexes to be showing up here, but we'll keep skipping. I mean, at least making rent, no problem. Yeah, as long as we get a couple of good rolls here, we're making rent by a nice chunk, even. Whoa, there we go. Way to go, Beastmaster. Especially those cats really start adding up since they're already doubled just base value. Okay, pay off rent. Get a nice chance at rare symbols here. Ooh, there's a Robin Hood. So you could get this. Destroys the one target we have lying around. Would destroy millionaires on its own. Robin Hood gives -4 each time he comes up. Not great. Gives 29 every 4 spins. So that's 16 lost. 29 gained. So 13. Gain 13 coins off of a Robin Hood every 4 turns. So that's just over 4 per turn. Not amazing, but not horrible either, but especially with some auxiliary effects. And if we could maybe get some nice arrows showing up in the future, I'm going to take Robin Hood just for fun. I enjoy that card a lot. But okay, Gray Pepper gives 6 whenever we spend a removal token. Definitely could come in handy. And we've been saving those up, so we could use this in a sudden burst to make an emergency rent, potentially. Versus rerolling, which does nothing for us. We have no die things, or pink pepper, give money whenever we skip. We also skip a decent amount, but we'll go with the gray pepper here, since that's kind of fun. Could always, yeah, panic spend these. Let's see here. Spades, not useful. Lucky capsule, get a chance for a rare. Honestly, don't mind that. Better chance for rares, but we already have that with cats, so we're not going to worry about that. Go with the lucky capsule here. I'd love it if we got another witch, but that's probably asking for just a wee bit too much. Destroys adjacent fruit. Permanently gives 1 for each one destroyed. So here's where we can potentially use Mrs. Fruit to our advantage. We have at least 2 fruits with peaches and cherries. That is all we have, but that still means we could technically add her. She's better than either of those at base value, or I guess equal to a peach base value. But she'll consume those 2 and get rid of them for free for us as well. So I might take Miss Fruit. I'm going a little bit like branching wishy-washy here. There's no real need for her at this point, but I do like those kind of cute little things and just getting those. I mean, for all I know, we're not going to make a rent one of these days, and it's going to be my fault for, what's the word, diluting our build a little bit too much in the short term here. But I think we'll still go for it. I might even throw in some removals, even if it doesn't fully help us by, I've been kind of saving those for removing hexes and the like themselves. But, let's take a big urn because the hooligan will destroy that eventually. In fact, right away. And we also did finally pop our Eldritch beast here. So let's double check what that buddy does. Destroys adjacent witches. Oh, that's not great. I don't like that you'll destroy my witch. I didn't think about that one. Really didn't think that through, but should again be okay in the short term here. We'll instead cross our fingers for Beastmasters and feed our witches to the Eldritch creature, because the Eldritch creature gives 4 on its own, but we'll give 1 for each of all of these symbols destroyed or removed this game, so we can buff this buddy up pretty quickly, which is very cool. I'm gonna grab the milk because that's very likely to be adjacent to a cat. In fact, was right away. Got 22 gold off of that cat alone. No complaints there. And it's looking like we will make this rent itself at the very least. I'm going to take the void creature because it will probably just delete itself upon showing up. In fact, it's guaranteed to because we have no more empties anymore. Definitely skip on those bad boys. I'm even going to use maybe one of my empties for fun here. What would I like to get rid of? We're still using our hooligan occasionally. Dog still gets doubled from Beastmaster at the very least. So maybe we go with a pearl. Take a pearl out because we have way too many of those lying around. A lot of shiny pebbles too, but between those and the cats, we're actually probably getting decent odds for rare cards. I mean, this one doesn't show it very well with all the commons, but I think it's still doing all right. We'll skip these. Let's start burning through. We're so close to the end now, and I think we could pretty much make it as is here. Keep it going. Ooh, and we finally destroyed that target, which means Robin Hood gives a whole bunch of money. So up to 7-11. Not too shabby. Pay off rent. Just a few more spins to go here. A few more rent cycles, I guess, as it were. So get more money from things with the chef. Good in a lot of runs, but not this particular one, unfortunately. The mine will give more geodes consistently. But honestly, we've kind of flushed out our deck with those and only have the one miner to crack them. This is very tempting, but I'm going to skip for now and maybe just hold out hope for a Beastmaster. We have a few more rerolls to go. Even the tomb. You know what, I'm going to go with the tomb. That's not too bad. But okay, let's check this out. Wanted posters. Thieves give more money when destroyed. Don't have anything that destroys thieves, but definitely not a bad item. A very rare. Don't see this one. Or not this one. I've never seen this one, but we don't see very rare items that often. Gives 4 each spin. I mean, it's not bad. It doesn't really build up to anything, but it is the one we're going to be taking, don't get me wrong, because we don't have a suit strategy either. So let's grab that bad boy. And I'm still thinking we've got this one pretty much in the bag. I'll just skip through most of these. Might, again, embarrass myself by skipping too quickly. Not realize I'm making a big mistake, but I feel like we should be okay. Have we destroyed our witch yet? Yes, the witch did get eaten. Unfortunately, the witch did get eaten. So spirits are less of an immediate concern here. I actually don't know how much I want any of these. Skip still. I'm getting more and more worried though. Okay, we did just get a whole bunch of spirits. So actually, doesn't matter what I think on that regard, or in that regard, I guess. And there we go. Finally a hex option. So I'm going to pick that up and then immediately remove it, because that gives more power to our Eldritch creature here. And then, you know, we have a lot of removal tokens. So let's just pop out some pearls. I wish the pearls did not pop around like that. Have to track them down each time as we choose them, but actually I don't know why I say I hate that, because I don't necessarily hate that. It makes it a bit of a fun mini game almost, does it not? But keep it going here. And again, yeah, we could take the big ore. I don't think there's too much need though. And this is about the point in the game where I like to start really leaning into strategy that we've been aiming for. I will take this hex and immediately remove it, just for fun. I always like having someone that we continually buff up. Wow, that peach is still around. I thought that would have been eaten by Miss Fruit by now for sure. We're already at the required, or I was stalling over saying requisite instead, but we're at the requisite rent amount to spin a go, so anything we gain now is just bonus. Could take the arrow, gets bonus points from Robin Hood, but we'll skip through. Say some rerolls for the next one here, because after paying rent we have the chance at some nice symbols. Let's see here. Farmer Spirit or Dame. So Dame does double all of the gemstones that we've managed to collect in the back end here. Honestly, a decent amount, and like next to a diamond alone is huge. I'll take the Dame. We're a little all over the place here today, but honestly I don't hate it too much. It's kind of fun to branch out a little bit in the strategies. Coin on a string will get rid of the coin, so it gives a coin and then removes all of your coin symbols before each spin, gives 3 gold for each symbol that is removed. So this removes a symbol that we already started with by default for free, so that's not too shabby at all. The guillotine destroys billionaires. Just each time they pop up? I'm gonna take guillotine because it does kind of work with Robin Hood as well. So hold that mouse over this, let it load up to the top, and then we can look at billionaire. Gives 35 when destroyed. Or is this a usable? Do I like click on this? Here, hold up. We'll try and get 1 billionaire on the board and then see what happens, instead of just guessing at it, hypothesizing on our own here the whole time. Take the Hex of Emptiness, immediately get rid of it, defeat the Eldritch Whore, like we do, and yeah, Hex of Hoarding is not too shabby either. No longer have removable symbols to immediately chuck it out of here, but as long as it ends up next to the beast, they'll snack down on that bad boy. Beastmaster is huge. Get those cats back to multiplying. And let's see, skip through those ones. Nothing too tension grabbing there. And we're definitely just in the cooldown period now. Pretty much just going to be hitting skip and spin, not thinking too much. We're not going to be worried about going infinite with this one, because even after winning the game, you can just continue if you're having a lot of fun with your run. But we're just looking for that initial victory here, which it's looking like we can get. So We'll maybe blow through this last section a little bit. I'll take another hex for fun. Don't even know what you did. You did your bad thing. Ah, we've been hexed, we get no symbols. Fun. Don't mind whatsoever. In fact, kind of makes my life easier because I'm not tempted to look through all the options here. But skip that one. And then I think we're going to be heading into our final rent cycle here, which is definitely exciting. Managed to get through this one. I mean, I'm speaking a little too soon, but I think we'll manage to get through this one on the first try. For the second try, if that makes sense. A little bit weird there. But I was surprised with even my first attempt at this when I messed up everything on OBS. I was surprised to win that one. So imagine my brain upon potentially winning this one as well. I do want the silver arrow because it synergizes with Robin Hood and has some fun chance stuff. But the geologist will destroy all the pearls and all the shiny pebbles and the sapphires. Give us more in the long run, so I think I like that one there. And of course, as soon as we choose something that gets rid of our shiny pebbles, we get Kyle the Kernite? Kyle the Hernite? Kyle. I think that's a K. I guess it's got to be with that little hatch missing. Kyle the Kernite. Well, that's very cute. So these are giving 3 now? 3 now. Honestly, that's pretty solid on its own. Of course, hexed again, but no problem whatsoever. And we will just burn through these. I guess we are kind of looking out for billionaires. I kind of want to see what this guillotine does, or how it works at the very least, but won't be too sad either way, I don't think. Especially since we keep getting hexed. Ooh, there we go. Finally, the hex of emptiness. Been eaten up, getting 11 each turn from our Eldritch horror. I'm going to use some of these rerolls because they're going to go to waste anyway here. You know, we'll skip through all those. Not too worried about it. Archaeologist is finally getting around to those good eats. We'll take Symbol of Destruction. It does have a chance to destroy symbols. That's not great, but it could... I don't think it could destroy our Eldritch horror. I think our Eldritch horror would always eat it first. Don't actually know how that works. Oh, we're down to 666. That's not a great sign. But no, okay. Maybe it is a good sign for the Eldritch horror. Maybe I should get double points for that or something. But I guess we should just keep skipping. I was talking about speeding things up here and then totally forgot about the process. And yeah, unless we see a billionaire. I am for billionaire, but otherwise we're just taking the W as stands, I think. And I lied, we're taking one more hex because that feeds the beast. And it's all about our Eldritch beast here. New best friend. And there we go. That was the last spin, I believe. Yeah, pay 777, and with that, you've reached the end of early access version. Congratulations, this time your landlord was eaten by bears. Not super fitting, considering the run we went for, but had the option for bears, it almost went there. But this is where we could normally continue to play in endless mode if we were having a lot of fun or wanted to really refine the build and see how many points we could get. I know in the early game, through one suit-based build in the first patches before they got nerfed, and in one plant-based build, which hasn't been changed too much and I think is still fully viable. I've gotten to the point where you're just receiving millions of gold every spin, not a care in the world, rent isn't even a thought on your mind, and instead about just the fun of really refining your combo there. But we won't worry too much about endless mode today. Head back to the main menu, and maybe in the future, if I ever play this, I'll actually, or play this again on stream, I should say, because I almost definitely will play this on my own. It's super easy to just pick up and put down. Highly addictive, if I haven't mentioned that already, which I know I have, but gotta be mentioned. But I'll make my way through the apartment floors here and see how many of these kind of difficulty modifiers we can add to the game. See how it goes. But I had a whole lot of fun dipping the toes into the water here, seeing some of the new update stuff. Hope you enjoyed watching as well. If you did, definitely hit that subscription button if you want to be notified of whenever a new video comes up here and what we're trying out. And definitely leave a comment with any of your thoughts, complaints, ideas, anything you're thinking out there. And with that, or regardless of all that, I do hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there. And I hope to see you in the next one. I'll see you soon. See ya.